Testing has once again become key with the resurgence of COVID-19 cases, and this time round, home tests in the form of rapid antigen tests that you can use at home have become very popular. In fact, one of the makers, Mylab, reports that they've seen a 200% increase in sales in just the first few days of January in their home test kits. To understand what these patterns are and how accurate these tests are, especially when we're facing an Omicron wave, I'm joined now by Hasmukh Rawal. He's the MD of Mylabs. Mr. Hasmukh Rawal, thank you so much for speaking with us here at ET Now. First, give us a sense of the increase in demand over the last few days in home tests.
Yeah. So yes, definitely there is a surge in the requirement for CoviSelf. And what we are seeing, it is across, whether it is offline channel or an online channel, we are seeing this increase. And this is obviously expected because as the power of testing comes in hands of people, they would like to test it themselves before they're doubly sure to go on RT-PCR or not. So the benefit of self antigen testing or self home testing is if the test comes positive, it is a confirmed positive. And if it comes negative, then they can opt for RT-PCR test if the symptoms are there. So what it does in primary facing is it reduces the burden on the RT-PCR testing itself, and also it gives the power to people to test themselves and quarantine themselves if needed.
So, Mr. Rawal, tell us what patterns you're seeing in terms of how this test is being used, or how many people are taking it up in various states and cities. I assume the metros are more keen on using these CoviSelf tests.
Yes, the first people to come up with are the metro cities. But what we expect is the most use of these tests is at rural areas. And if we can bring this to those rural area where right now the RT-PCR kind of testing or healthcare infrastructure is not available, it would be of most immense importance. What we have seen in second wave is there have been waiting period for days and days, maybe at weeks for such testing. So if we can do this and bring this kind of testing solutions at rural area, I think it will help the country in a big way to fight the pandemic.
The concern now is that do these tests that were designed for the initial variants of COVID-19 work as well against Omicron? There are some reports, especially from outside India, where it seems to indicate that rapid antigen tests don't catch the Omicron virus as well. Do you have any information or data on this? Will these tests detect Omicron as efficiently as well?
Yeah, so it depends mostly on the designing of the test. What kind of region of the virus you're looking at to say and identify that yes, we have caught the virus. So there are different tests across the world who have worked on different regions of virus to identify it. What I can definitely say about Mylab CoviSelf test is it will cover not only the initial Wuhan variant, but also it will cover all the variants after that, because we are looking at a conserved area of the virus which has not changed in that way over this period. Of course, we are also going to do more and more study on this, but prima facie we are confident. In fact, we have already given a press release that we will catch Omicron. And now the most important part, right now it is Omicron. Very soon we might also hear a new variant, maybe inside India or coming outside from India. The most important part of the test is it should have a wider coverage. Distinguishing between those variants can be part two. And as far as the testing, the treatment and therapy is not changing, I think the coverage for a test is more important and critical. And that's what the confidence with CoviSelf people can have.
What are the kinds of ways that people are using these tests, Mr. Rawal? You talked about it being designed, and I remember the first time we spoke when you were launching this product, you also talked about this, adding testing capabilities to rural areas which may not have labs or the ability to conduct large number of RT-PCR tests. But it's also being used as a safeguard now for gatherings. I mean, I'm hearing of people who are planning their weddings by asking all of their guests to take a rapid antigen tests. Entries into places may be determined by these quick rapid antigen tests, perhaps in schools in higher standards or higher education in days to come. Do you foresee all of these uses?
Yes, I think that should at least happen. rather than not having any tests, having a rapid test where you can at least quickly identify most of the infection is very very important. We have seen this trend in most of the Western world, whether it is official gathering or maybe at a government place entries. They have mandatorized the self testing usage before joining offices and all. I think such trend would be very important and critical if we see that such otherwise we are not able to contain the virus. At least this is a good way to test, track, and quarantine people if needed.
Can we hope for cheaper tests as the usage increases and there's a wider adoption? Because with more and more variants coming, frankly, the only way to sort of get on with your life is having access to cheap, quick, and more accurate tests. How are you working towards that?
So as I said, MyLab's quest is always customer centric. The first CoviSelf test what we made, it has happened first time in India before international product is approved. Indian product got approval. We used first time AI interpretation. We have made the test so simple that even it becomes a mistake proof test for most of the time it has been tested. What we are doing further is it's not only about the cost of the test, but also the delivery and the time. Right now, still we have to wait for 10 to 15 minutes or maybe 20 minutes to perform end-to-end test. We are working on technologies which are innovative, where within a couple of minutes you will be able to identify the viruses, and maybe with equal or far better confidence than the antigen test, maybe as good as the RT-PCR test. So yes, MyLab is working on those solutions, but till the time our team is not confident to do a clinical validation, we would not be in position to launch it.
So, what is the kind of timeline for these quicker tests, which you're saying will be more accurate?
Maybe more 3 months from now, you can expect something from MyLab. We are also working on a quicker method of delivering a RT-PCR test. We already launched the first RT-PCR test, as you know, but after that we launched automation. We launched mobile vans which have reached distance rural areas of the country. What we are also trying to do is to reduce this further, to remove the expert requirement out of this, and also a faster way. So maybe something like this, at least you would see maybe in a month from now, and something which 2 minute or 3 minute test you would see maybe in 3 or 4 months from now.
Another concern, Mr. Rawal, is that some people who are taking this rapid antigen test at home and getting a positive result are choosing not to then inform the authorities, which may lead to the total figure of infections that we see every day being underestimated. What is the solution around this loophole?
So yes, there may be pros and cons of every approach of testing. Like as we all know, PCR have taken days and days to get this. Also, they are costlier. At the same time, when I say a power of testing comes to the people, there might be some incidents, maybe very few, where people would not like to do it. But I don't see any incentive to not to do that. A positive report confirmed by the app by CoviSelf is a confirmed positive. If in any case you need a medical emergency, you have this report which is ready with you, which is applicable for any of your healthcare hospitalization or other healthcare treatment requirement. So it's far and far more better, and in fact it is more incentivizing to the people to have a handy report than not to have it, because it is not going to change anything. Not authorities are not going to come and held someone responsible now, as the numbers are increasing just like the last wave. The only best way is just to keep it yourself quarantined, which you will any which ways do if you know you are positive. So I don't see any incentive not to do it. Of course, at the same time, we have a lot of educational videos, we have promotional videos. Every pharmacist where we sell, we train them how the testing should be done, how the report should come. Also, most of the time the app is right in telling you the right report. Most of the time people are not able to judge the report themselves. So the app has an intelligent AI which interprets the report and tells it whether it is positive, negative, or so. So I think there are multiple benefits to report it than not to report it. And there, even if such cases come, there will be very few. I don't think that would be a major number to be worried of. Above this, in international Western market world, there is no reporting pattern. There's no application. There is just you do it, test it, and maybe if then you report it. So at least we are far ahead from those method of testing in India. And I think with more and more awareness, and I think initiative from ET now, I think people will be more aware, and they will be understand more incentives of having the report handy than not having it.